The following is a prototype configuration that's being created for the City of New York. It's for their sidewalk maintenance department. And what's been added is a form, and this is their preliminary inspection form. And in addition, we've also added a small library, just a couple of icons. And really this is just to do a proof of concept and to demonstrate how the application is going to work. I'm actually demonstrating on an iPad Air. I strongly recommend that. For forms of this size, it is so much smoother. I've done some testing also on an iPad 2 and an iPad 3, which are older generation, and it's a little slower, a little choppier. So now with the form in place, we can see this is how they fill out the form, and actually they're probably going to zoom into an area so they can actually touch it very easily, and they'll fill in whatever information that they have associated with it, so an address for example. Just give an example. So 24 West Madison, etc. And it would just tab on through the fields as they fill it in. Primarily what they're interested in is, of course, the drawing engine. And to start this off, I'm going to actually change the scale real quick. I'll move that up to 12 and then 3, and this can be set for them so that they don't have to do this but once. But one thing that I did not add prior to this demonstration was general blocks that they're going to be using. And I'm just going to make a 3x3 square here because sidewalks, just the examples they gave me actually showed that. And we're also, for the presentation, it'll probably have dimensions on it so you can actually see it nice and pretty. So we'll do a 3x3. We're actually going to just create 2 of these real quick. And we'll use them in our example. So create object, and what I'm going to do is I'm also going to create a grass fill one. Change the transparency, grab a color. Okay. Alright, and these would be actually part of the library when we get to that point. So create object. Okay. I'll start a new drawing here, close this out. So they would all drop the objects in, and this is actually really kind of almost fun to do when you get right down to it. It's going to snap into alignment, right? So they can build their sidewalks and just line things up. So for the grassy areas, they would actually grab a grass section. What we'll do is we'll just create an example where we have, oops, grab this guy, that over, let's snap in place, snap in place. Alright. And actually, let's back that particular one out and grab another sidewalk. So you can see this is going to be very easy for them to actually set up their grids. Once they've got the grids, in this case we're going to turn it to just create line dimensions, and we'll put them on. One thing, because they're going to want these to line up perfectly, they're going to probably want to make them, depending upon what hand they are, coming from left to right, so that their finger isn't obstructing the view, so they can line things up easier. So they could, say for example, I've seen some examples where even though it's a rectangular grid and it looks like it's square, that they actually change the number, and what they could do is go to dimensions, click on one, and then type in, say for example it was actually 4 feet, they would just overwrite that value. You can see that's actually fairly simple. Okay, they would also need to be able to put in text, and these would be small numbers, for example. In this case, let's see, I think they had used 6 a lot, and they'd want to change that to a nice pretty red, okay, indicating some sort of an issue. And again, they could actually use the points mode to move it into position. They could also just drag it, but then your finger's kind of in the way, so it's a little more difficult. So you can get kind of the gist of how easy it works. They can then take the whole drawing and reposition it very easily, and add their additional text, right? So they have like the streets on the side, so we'll put in Madison. Right. Okay, so that's in red. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, so that's in black now. and then we want it at 90 degrees. There we go. Let's try this again one more time here. There we go. And make that a little bit bigger. There we go. Oops. Put that into position. And add arrows. Let's see. Again, we probably want to reposition again. Move this down a little bit lower. So I think they have PL a lot. P capital L. Set that here. And then create a new line. Line with an arrow. Just going to zoom in on that. And go to lines. Grab a line. And it's probably going to want to be a little bit longer than that. And then just take that portion and copy it. Copy, paste. Right. There we go. And I can fix that. That's actually a little bit of a bug in the system there. Okay. Etc. So you can see it actually moves nice and smooth and nice and easy. And put in the rest of their details. The form can be made so it's almost exactly what they're currently seeing, and then when they were done with it, they would just email it as a PDF file, and this would go into their back-end system. And I can't email this to myself because the email isn't set up correctly on this. It's not sending. You can give it a try and see if it works. Return and send. It says it's sent, but I don't think it actually did. So, they've got some other examples. This is a PDF I can look at. So this is another one. It's actually pretty similar. And we can have it so they can circle things in yellow the way they've done in the past. So that's pretty much how the application is going to work. This is a prototype, and I want to make sure that there were no major problems or gotchas. Looks fairly straightforward. And then it's just the details that New York City is going to provide for me. So, thank you very much.